There's been a lot of rhetoric about where the next big conflict will come from. One of the big things that's been pushed is it won't be over power and won't be over land, it will be over water.
So, it's a very good question. Who has the responsibility for keeping New Zealand's waterways clean, clear and swimmable?
We've got 9 million cows in New Zealand. We've got 35, 40 million sheep.
The amount of cow pats or cow poo that ends up on paddocks, it's in the region of billions of tonnes a year.
The impact of our operations today will have ongoing impacts for the next few decades.
I am very passionate about dung beetles, but most especially about what they can do to improve our environment. Dr. Sean Forgie. I'm a specialist in dung beetles, and I've been doing work with dung beetles since 1994, so I've been doing this for 20 odd years now. Dung beetles' impact on improving the local pastoral ecosystem is quite profound. Now, if you bring in a dung beetle and it flies straight to that cow pad, it gets populated by a whole suite of dung beetles. They basically set about the whole process of creating all these galleries and tunnels beneath that cow pad, and they instantaneously remove all of that pastoral dung from the surface down into these tunnels and galleries and fill that with balls which they use for making babies and putting grubs and eggs inside. That whole process of removing that dung from the pasture surface means it's in the ground rather than on the surface. And so in a rainfall event, there's less available on the pasture surface to run off into the water to contaminate it. So on pasture, it's probably the only really self-sustainable preventative tool.
We've had a couple of clinical trials done on the farm which have involved counting the fecal eggs, which animals ingest parasites. Those parasites lay eggs, and those eggs come out when the animal defecates. The egg numbers are much lower than they should otherwise be. So we put that down to the fact that the dung beetles, by carrying out their biological process and taking the dung down, actually kill the nematodes. And so that's the benefit that I see.
The question, who is responsible for keeping New Zealand's waterways clean? It's really easy, it's all of us.
I think in New Zealand we take it for granted because we have a lot of water here. The problem is that we're dealing, or going to be dealing, with subpar quality water.
We are making up for some of the mistakes that have been made previously. Land that shouldn't have been farmed is now being retired.
I'd like to be able to provide the actual solution for New Zealand to actually say, when we advertise this country as a clean, green country, that it actually is clean and green country.
99% of farmers want to leave the farm better than the state they found it in.
I think dung beetles could have a really valuable role in helping us solve our freshwater problems. I think that they are one tool in a toolbox.
We're all part of it. We're all part of the problem. We should all be part of the solution.